Something changes after 60. Not suddenly, not loudly. It doesn't arrive with pain or panic. It slips in quietly like a soft shadow across your morning light. You wake up the same way you always have. The kettle warms. The sunlight touches the window. The world feels familiar. But your body is whispering something new. Maybe you feel it when you stand up from your chair. That tiny pause before your legs fully support you. That moment when you steady yourself on the armrest, not out of fear, but out of habit, or perhaps you notice it while lifting a grocery bag. Not heavy enough to complain about, just heavy enough to make you aware. A little less strength than last year. A little more effort than you remember needing. Most people dismiss these moments. They say, well, I'm getting older. And that thought sounds harmless, comforting even. But here's the quiet truth. This is not just aging. It's a signal. Your muscles are slowly shrinking. Your strength is quietly fading, and your body is trying to tell you before it becomes a real problem. Doctors call this age-related muscle loss. A natural process that begins earlier than most people realize and accelerates after 60. But don't worry, this is not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up gently. The same way your morning sunlight does, because this is something you can slow, stop, and even reverse. Let's take a closer look at what's happening. After 60, your body doesn't hold on to muscle the way it once did. Even if you feel healthy, even if you walk every day, even if you don't feel weak at all, strength can quietly slip away without obvious warning. It doesn't shout, it whispers. And that's why so many people don't notice it until standing becomes harder, balance becomes less certain, and everyday tasks begin to feel like effort. But if you listen closely, the signs are there. Soft, subtle, and very real. And today we're going to talk about the 3 silent signs of weakness after 60. The ones doctors pay close attention to. These are not dramatic symptoms. They are gentle hints from your body. Small changes that tell you it's time to take care of your strength. The first sign shows up in your legs. Your legs carry you through your life. They help you stand, walk, climb, and stay independent. But over time, they begin to lose power if they are not gently used and strengthened. You may notice it as a slight wobble when you rise from a chair, or a feeling that your steps are slower than they used to be. Not painful, just different. The second sign appears in your balance. Have you felt a little less steady lately? Maybe when you turn too quickly. Maybe when walking on uneven ground. Maybe when stepping out of the shower. This isn't clumsiness, it's your body's way of saying that your muscle and nerve coordination are changing. Balance is deeply connected to muscle strength, especially in your legs and core. When muscles become weaker, your balance becomes quieter, less confident. And the third sign? This is the one doctors worry about most. It shows up as early fatigue, feeling tired from simple things, walking a shorter distance than before, needing more rest during the day, feeling slower in your energy, especially in the morning. Again, this isn't something to fear, it's simply a sign that your body is asking for support. Your muscles are not only responsible for strength, they are also your body's largest source of energy and stability. When they shrink, your endurance shrinks with them, and if nothing changes, your independence slowly follows. But here's the hopeful part. Your body is incredibly wise. Even after 60, it still has the ability to regain strength, rebuild muscle, and restore confidence when you give it the gentle care it needs. And that begins with awareness, listening to the quiet signals instead of brushing them away. You don't need extreme workouts. You don't need to become an athlete. You just need a few simple daily habits. The kind that fit naturally into your mornings, just like your tea, your prayers, or your walk. In the next section, we'll gently explore the first silent sign in detail, and I'll show you a safe, doctor-recommended way to strengthen it at home. Stay with me, because the final part of this video reveals the one small action that can help preserve your strength and independence for years to come. And when you hear it, I want you to tell me something in the comments. Tell me, I'm ready to stay strong, because this journey is not about getting older, it's about getting wiser, steadier, and more powerful. One morning at a time, have you noticed small tasks feeling harder lately? Not in a dramatic way, not in a way that alarms you, just a little heavier than they used to feel. Maybe it's the lid on a jar that takes a bit more effort. Maybe it's the grocery bag that makes your arm feel tired sooner. Maybe it's standing up from your favorite chair, where you now push with your hands instead of rising smoothly. These are not random moments. They are your body's quiet way of saying, I need a little more support. And here's something very important to understand. This is not weakness. This is muscle loss. After 60, your muscles naturally begin to shrink if they are not gently used and nourished. It happens slowly, so slowly that most people don't notice it until it starts affecting their daily life. Doctors call this sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle strength that comes with age. But please don't let the word scare you, because this is not a disease. It is simply a condition of neglected strength. And the beautiful truth is, it can be reversed. Let's talk about what's really happening inside your body. When you were younger, your muscles stayed strong, even with very little effort. Walking, working, living, that was enough. But after 60, your muscles need a little more care to stay the same. If they don't get that care, they begin to shrink quietly, especially in your legs, arms, and core. And when muscles shrink, everyday tasks start feeling heavier. Not because life is heavier, but because your strength is getting lighter. That is the first silent sign. The world didn't change, your muscles did. And the reason this happens is simple. Muscle is like a memory. If you don't remind it to stay strong, it slowly forgets. It forgets how to lift, it forgets how to support, it forgets how to protect your joints and balance. But the good news is, your muscles are still listening. Even now, they just need to be awakened gently, and this doesn't require intense workouts. In fact, doctors say the safest and most effective strength-building habits after 60 are also the simplest. Things you can do right at home, things that feel natural, not stressful. But before we get to the solution, I want you to notice something about your own daily life. Think about the last time something felt heavier than it should have. Did you say to yourself, I'm just getting older? Most seniors do. And that thought is understandable, but it can quietly hold you back from taking action because it makes the problem feel permanent, when in reality, it's not permanent at all. Your strength is not gone, it's just asleep. And now let me gently share the most powerful truth in this entire section. You don't lose muscle because you get older. You lose muscle because your muscles are no longer being reminded to stay strong, and once you remind them, they respond. At any age, doctors and physical therapists agree on one daily habit that makes the biggest difference for seniors. It doesn't take long, it doesn't require equipment, and it can be done safely from the comfort of your own home. That habit is called gentle daily resistance movement. Now, that may sound technical, but it's actually very simple. It just means using your own body weight to wake your muscles up. For example, standing up and sitting down slowly from a chair, raising your arms and holding light objects, taking short walks where you focus on strong, steady steps. These small actions send a message to your muscles. Stay alive, stay strong, stay ready. And when muscles hear that message every day, they begin to rebuild themselves naturally. Not overnight, but gently, steadily, and safely. This is how seniors regain confidence in their bodies. This is how simple things stop feeling heavy again. And this is how you protect your independence. Without pressure, without fear, and without extreme effort. In the next part of this video, I'll guide you through a few of these gentle strength-building movements that doctors recommend for people over 60. Movements that feel calming, not exhausting. But before we move forward, I want you to do something. Pause for a moment. Ask yourself, do I want my body to feel lighter and stronger again? If your answer is yes, type in the comments, I'm rebuilding my strength. Because this is not the season of decline. This is the season of restoring your power. One small habit at a time, and stay with me. Because the next silent sign reveals something even more important. Something that affects not only your strength, but your balance and confidence as well. And that is what we'll gently uncover next. That small hesitation when you walk, That brief moment where your body pauses just to make sure it feels steady. You may not even think about it, you simply slow down a little. You hold the railing a bit more often, you choose safer steps without really noticing, and that is exactly how this change begins. Quietly. Balance is not just about your feet, it is a conversation between your muscles, your nerves, and your mind. When they work together smoothly, you feel confident. You move freely. You trust your body. But after 60, this communication becomes softer if your muscles are not gently strengthened each day. And when that happens, your balance starts to feel less certain. Not dangerous at first, just different. Maybe you notice it when turning too quickly in the kitchen, maybe while stepping off a curb, maybe when walking across a room at night. A small wobble, a tiny correction, a gentle awareness that your body is not as steady as it once felt. These are not random experiences. They are early warnings that your strength and coordination are slowly changing. Doctors sometimes call this the hidden loss of power, because it doesn't arrive with pain. It arrives with subtle uncertainty, and most people ignore it. They assume it's normal, but the truth is, this is your body's quiet request for attention. Balance depends deeply on the strength of your legs, hips, and core muscles. These muscles are what keep you upright. They help you shift your weight. They protect you from falls. When they become weaker, your balance becomes less automatic. You begin to move more carefully. Not because you are afraid, but because your body is trying to protect itself. That carefulness is wisdom, but it is also a sign that your muscles want to be gently reawakened. The good news is, balance can be improved at any age. You don't need to push your body hard. You just need to give it simple daily reminders that help your muscles and nerves work together again. Let me explain something encouraging. Your muscles never truly disappear, they simply become quieter. And when you use them gently and consistently, they respond. That is the secret. Not intensity, consistency. Even small mindful movements can strengthen your balance and coordination over time. Doctors often recommend very safe and calming exercises for seniors. For example, standing up slowly and sitting down with control, walking with deliberate, steady steps, gently lifting your heels or toes while holding onto a chair for support. These movements send a message to your nervous system. Stay alert, stay steady, stay strong, and your body listens. It begins to rebuild the pathways that help you feel balanced and secure. That is why it's never too late to improve how you move. In fact, many seniors find that their confidence increases when they practice these gentle habits daily. Not only do they feel stronger, they feel more in control of their bodies, more independent, more peaceful in their movements. And that peace is important, because fear is not what we want. We want awareness and hope. This is not about preventing danger. It is about preserving your freedom, being able to walk comfortably, to stand with ease, to move through your home without hesitation. These are simple things, but they are powerful parts of living well. And if your balance has been feeling slightly different lately, that does not mean something is wrong. It simply means your body is ready for a little gentle support. And in the next section, I will show you exactly how to strengthen that support. Safely, naturally, and calmly. But before we move forward, I want you to notice something. Balance is not just physical. It is emotional too. When you feel steady in your body, you feel steady in your life. You feel safer, more confident, more connected to yourself, and that is why this second sign matters so much. Because once you begin strengthening your balance again, you are not just rebuilding muscles, you are rebuilding trust in your own body. And that is a beautiful thing. Now, stay with me, because the final sign I'm about to share is the one most seniors overlook until it begins to affect their energy, their confidence, and their independence in ways they never expected. And once you hear it, you will understand why doctors consider it the most important signal of all. This is the sign doctors watch most closely, not because it is dangerous, but because it is deeply revealing. You may notice it in your mornings, feeling a little more tired than usual, taking longer to get moving, needing extra rest after simple daily activities. This is not just about energy, it is about muscle endurance, quietly fading, Your muscles are your body's natural engine. When they weaken, everything feels heavier, even your own steps. But here is the hopeful truth. This change is not permanent. With one gentle daily habit, you can rebuild strength, restore balance, and feel steadier in your body again, without pressure, without fear, and without intense workouts. At the end of this video, I will share a simple challenge with you. If you're ready to protect your strength and independence, comment, "I choose strength." Because this is not about getting older, it is about getting stronger. One peaceful morning at a time, and in the next video, I will reveal the quiet morning ritual that helps rebuild muscles after 60. Stay with me.